All right, guys, here I am at the venue, finally, after months of preparation. And I gotta say that it has been a journey. Exciting, terrifying, and everything. But here we are, finally. As you can see, I'm having an art show. This is the venue. Everything is almost set up, and I am ready to go. It's 1 o'clock right now. People are coming at 6. I didn't budget enough time for this, and it looks like, I was here last night pretty late setting up the lights, doing all the legwork. Today I hung everything. Today I put the paintings up. Today I'm painting stuff up, bar setup, this and that. And it has actually been a lot more work because I've been here since 9. I don't know how it's 1 o'clock already. I'm stressing. So I don't know if you can avoid that. Maybe get some help. I had someone help me, but it wasn't enough. And to be honest, it's the only way around that. Other piece of advice at this point would be, I don't know, there's probably no way around all these headaches. So you got to just kind of push through and see what happens, see how it goes. But other than that, everything's almost done. I'm super excited. There's too many people coming, allegedly. So my number one stress at this point is actually going over the amount of people that I'm allowed to have, which is 200. There's only one way to find out. So I'll make another video at home because this is kind of stressful, but here it is. If you've been following this series, I've been going through all the steps in the last year about how to have your own art show. Starting from why you should have an art show, how to market it, how to find a space, and finally the after effects and the result of the show. So I got a video that I filmed at the venue the next morning. It's a little bit choppy. It's just the most real response. It's been 2 weeks since the show. I've been busy delivering artwork. I've been busy doing marketing. I've been busy leveraging the content. But before I get into that, I want to show this video first. The next day, and I gotta use this mic because the echoes in here are pretty bad. But this is it. This is me cleaning up. The event is over. It's 7:30 in the morning the next day. I have a space that let me come the next day. This is actually one of the downsides of having a space like this. I'll say a few things here. A space like this is great because it's quick. It's only one cost, and that's okay. Downsides is you got to be in the day of and usually out day of. I had the day before and the next day. Insanely good value for what I got. This place is called Platform 4. Highly recommend if you're in Vancouver. Great people, great location, great spot. But to debrief about this, because I didn't film any videos last night because it was so busy that you gotta really take a look at your event and measure it a certain way. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Maybe I will in a second. I just want to say that the event went well. So if you happen to watch all the videos that precede this video, that it absolutely went off without a hitch. I sold a bunch of art. I had probably close to 200 people come through. God knows how all that happened. I still have some drinks left. Everyone had a really good time. The reviews are awesome. People that don't know me are impressed. The quality of the art, the quality of the venue, quality of the event. And I think I test a lot of that to the setup. Inviting people, doing the art ahead of time, just the steps I followed to get everyone here. I think it works. I think it's a good system, and I would recommend it just based on the volume of people. I'll try to post some videos if I have them from other people so that whoever's watching can see. But it was for 4 hours packed all night. And it's a big space. I'm not sure if you can get the size in this video, but it is a big venue, right? This is a large venue. So that's the event. It's the next day. I'm going to give you a couple of tips that I'm going to add on after the fact, but I'm doing it right here because I think it's important. Last night, I had the ability to be tagged. I reposted everyone's stories on my Instagram. I haven't looked at my phone today, actually. But do that. Everyone has videos now. Everyone films videos. Everyone tags you. So I did that, and I probably reposted 40 stories last night. I saw a bunch of new followers. I have these like little connect things right here so that you could connect with me after, so you didn't have to like walk around and be like, hey, what's your Instagram? This is just like scan, sign up, connect, we're on to the next thing. I'll tell you what I do next because I actually haven't planned it. I know I have to message people, but that's it. This is the day after. I'm going to finish the rest of this video at home because I got to tidy up. Okay, so let's break down what I think I did right and what I think I did wrong. First, right. In no order. Calling and messaging every single person I know was the absolute best thing I did for the show. I'll tell you why. For the first 3 weeks leading up to the event, I was really stressed out, as you will be, that no one's going to come. And it's not that you make art to show to lots of people, but having an empty room when you're having an art show is just, it's a weird kind of stress, right? It's a big commitment for people to show up for on a Saturday night to an event. They don't know what they're cutting into. They don't know anything about what you're doing. So they're always like, I don't know about this. So what I did, if you watched 2 videos ago, a month out, message everyone, DM everyone, lots of content. 2 weeks out, remind everyone, remind everyone, remind everyone. 1 week out, final reminder. People saying they're coming. And the venue told me, 30% show up. And I was like, I don't know. Like, yeah, sure, maybe 30% if you do a broad net show up, but in this case, that's not what I did. I made sure that people knew. So, the week of, I was getting really stressed out that there would be too many people coming. And that's because I had to have drinks, I needed to have enough people to serve these people, I needed to have all the staff. It was enough. It was almost not enough. I had a couple of boxes of wine left over. We almost went through everything. But all in all, we had about 200 people show up that I have registered. So the event was banging. It was quite literally, as far as an event goes, the best possible outcome of this event. And I attribute that solely to the fact that I put in the legwork of the stuff that I hated the most for weeks in advance. So the reason why it's actually important is you want people to show up, and because there's enough people, they feel like this is a place to hang out. And the alternative is they come in. So the reason why you want a lot of people is simply because if people show up, because remember, people filter through all night, and you want people to show up, there's a crowd, and the inclination is to stick around because it feels like this is a place to be. And that just helps because when more people come, more people stay. So as people filter out, there's a steady stream. So there's like a certain volume in the room that needs to be present for, I think, people to feel comfortable to stay. Because if they show up and the venue's empty, it's like 8 people, the inclination is to be like, okay, where are we going next? Where you want them to be, this is the place to be. And how that ties back to like being an artist or whatever, I don't know. I just think, in my own personal opinion, it makes people feel more comfortable to be there. For a one-night event. If you're doing like a multi-day event, a week-long event, then it's not really about this amount of people. So that's the best thing I did. The next best thing I did that I think is worth mentioning is having a lot of art to look at. And if you follow this video, I've been working on these paintings, but I also ended up including an entire wall of drawings that I have been doing for me. And I'm a big Formula One fan, so I have been drawing these Formula One posters for, here, I got one here. This is one I still got to deliver. They're like this. There's lots of them. But I've been working on that for years, and I do it for content, but I was never planning on selling any of them. But at the end of the day, I decided, you know what, I've got a wall for it, I've made them, I'm going to put them up. They were very popular. The crowd around them was much bigger because there's a narrative. It's something that no one knew I was doing. The paintings I've been marketing forever, but the drawings were something unique. I sold lots of the drawings, and that I think is another really good thing I did because, you look at the paintings, and then all of a sudden there's a completely other side. It's almost like a separate artist was there. I think people were more engaged with that work, which I guess leads me to think, everyone has an idea of what they think their best work is. But sometimes it's not up to you what that work is. Maybe it's the audience that decides what the good work is. I think one of my biggest mistakes and biggest regrets about this whole thing is that I started posting on my Instagram in August. I've been making art for years. I had an alias. I had that account, but I never did my main account with all my friends and all my connections. And I started in August. So August to November is kind of like the whole time everyone knew I was an artist. I had people coming up to me being like, "Oh, is this your first show?" "No, it's my third." I had people being like, "I didn't know you were an artist." I had actually more comments about people saying, "I didn't know you were an artist," than anything else. That is complete and utter failure in the marketing world. If you're an artist, as long as I've been an artist, and lots of people that don't know you in the real world online that follow you from all around the world know you're an artist, but not by your name. And then everyone you actually know that has a wall in the city you live in doesn't know you're an artist, you have failed. This is the biggest learning I have made. Unless you purposely want to have an alias forever, make sure, even if it's uncomfortable and if you don't have a lot of content, to post that content the day you start drawing. I've never had a bad outcome of posting a drawing, a painting, a process ever in my life. I've never been harmed by posting about my art. So I think it's something that is my biggest mistake, because I think the outcome would have been bigger probably. I would have sold more art, and I'd be selling more art in general. Another thing that I think I did right, and this was not by choice, this was the venue's requirements, is, so I had a bartender, which you're going to need for sure if you're having drinks. I was giving the drinks away, which I highly recommend if you can afford it. You can charge $5 a drink, but at the end of the day, you make $1,000 if you do really well selling drinks. But I think you'll actually make more money selling art with free drinks, because it's like an exchange. Plus, anyways, if you can afford it, do it. If you can't afford it, charge for drinks. $5, cover your costs. Not an issue. Then I needed to have coat check at this venue. There's another requirement, which works out because no jackets get stolen, whatever. You don't need it, but it's nice. And then I needed to have 2 security guards at this event, which I was kind of opposed to because it's money out of pocket. And I would say that the security guards made the event uniquely special, because at this venue, there is the door on the ground level. And this is in on the edge of a sketchy part of town. So the fact that people came out to this event, they would have had to take an Uber, park in the middle of an industrial area where there's nothing happening. There's no restaurants. There's a restaurant a block away, but that's it. There's one or two restaurants. There's no people walking anywhere. There's not a lot of light. And you got to show up, and you got to walk up to this door. The door is just a door. And there's a guy standing out front. And you got to be like, "Hey, I'm here for the art show." And then he's got to ask you your name. Are you on the list? I need the list legally because of the liquor licensing, right? So then he would walk you in, put you into the elevator, and fob you up to the 4th floor, which is just an amazing experience. And that I really, really regret that I did not get to experience that feeling of showing up in the dark, industrial Railtown, getting into an elevator and going up and being like, whoa, this is an actual place. And then walking into the venue, and it's this expansive white gallery with just full of people and music, and it must have been elite. But the security guard made it special because he was great, absolutely phenomenal security guard. But I think it elevated the event significantly. So, anyways, forced to do it wasn't a decision. I think it worked out really well. Staff is, I guess, the answer that I'm referring to as something that's really helpful. Another thing I don't think I did really well, I didn't hire a photographer. This is one thing that's probably my absolute biggest mistake. I went into this event thinking that I was going to have so much time to capture the moment. I had like ideas for shots. I was going to shoot this photo, this video. I was going to film a video during the event like this. And by the time people started showing up, one person, next person, one person, next person, one person, next person. Like, you just can't get into it. You can't talk to anyone for a long time. So, I have some videos. It's not a lot. I have so much regret about this, but it's the way it is. So those are the things I think I did right and wrong. And in this video, I'm also going to talk about what you should do after the event. Just because I don't know if I'll make another video about this. Is that you're going to be so tired after the event. And you're going to feel depleted and no longer wanting to make videos and content and all this other stuff. But you need to spend the next 2 weeks leveraging the content. So thank yous, post more photos, post pictures of the venue, post your setup videos, like film as much videos as you can up until the event, and then leverage it as aggressively as you can. Because you're still fresh in everyone's mind, everyone's still excited about what you did, and they're sharing, right? So got a lot of new followers in the last 2 weeks. I sold some more art that I didn't sell at the event, which was amazing, and I think I've done quite a good job leveraging the event. And that's really the main thing you need to do after you're done the show, is go back on social media for a week or two, a week bare minimum, every single day for the first week. Post something different, like here's a new painting, here's this, thank you for coming, yada yada yada. And I think this cements you a little bit more in everyone's mind. And if you do that, some more sales will trickle in, but you'll also make some new connections, right? I got a big designer follow me the next day, or like sometime that week, because I said my thank yous and I posted a process video and someone shared it and it got shared to this person, and like that would have only happened if I had actually gone and made the videos. There's no way to understate the value of content and videos around an event like this. It's sort of the purpose of the thing. Like, yes, you want to sell as much as you can during the event. You want to cover your costs at bare minimum. But at the end of the day, you need to actually derive more than just sales from this event. One thing that I would recommend to the couple people that ever watch this video is very simply that you should sort of have maybe a plan for what you're going to do after the event. Because it's like a lot of inertia into one moment, and then all of a sudden, it's finished. All of a sudden, the urgency of the website build goes away. The urgency of finishing and packing the paintings goes away. The urgency of finishing another drawing goes away. The urgency of planning and messaging people goes away. You just kind of get like a whoosh. Right, I got really sick the next day, and so like I just sat and edited content for a whole week. I didn't want to do it, but now it's been 2 weeks, and I'm just like, I'm looking at my drawing desk here. I haven't sat there in 2 weeks. You know, like obviously you deserve a break and you should marinate in the moment, and it's more than just constantly producing. But I'm in this weird what's next phase, right? There's not going to be another show for a number of years, so if you can think about that ahead of time when you're still jazzed and have like the next project, then I would really recommend that. I think that's it. I think those are the kind of the key moments. If you're wondering about how the show went, I sold a ton of drawings, right? I sold a painting before the event started, which means that in total, I made far more than enough to rationalize having the event. Like, my only concern was covering the cost of the event. If that was all I got, I would have been very happy. But I made some money. I've reinvested it back in. I bought some new equipment. I bought an iPad for doing some digital work. And now I'm just focused on selling more paintings. I'm going to be putting one of the paintings into a gallery. It's my first time. I should talk about that. But that'll be a different episode because that was technically not related to the art show. And a lot of new connections, a lot of new interest. It was a huge project for the last year to work on. And it's sad how fast these moments just disappear because it's the center of your universe and it's just Monday, you know? So that's it. I'm Simon. I'm an artist. Been an artist for a long time. I've had 3 art shows. I've sold countless pieces, drawings, paintings, what have you. I'm figuring this out as fast as I can, I guess. This whole series is about how to have an art show from step 1 to step 10, I think, maybe 8. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Try to find me on the internet. Pretty easy to find. If you're ever going to have your own show, this is a great resource that I think of. I can't think of many others. So I was just doing it to help the community try to figure it out. Good luck out there. Until next time.